mint hot chocolate on a chilly morning. Yeah, worked out well. I like it. I want to talk about a number of things. Obviously, when I leave with I'm a Lovely Lady, don't got a lot of time. In fact, the timeline is not in our favor for me to get there to qualify I'm a Lovely Lady. It's quite the opposite. It looks like it's going to be very difficult to get there in time, on time to qualify her. Hopefully I can get there to school Northern Blizzard and So and Sue, that's our plan. Today we're going to change the headgear up on So and Sue a little bit, see if we can get her in a little better frame of mind. As I said, we're very close to her being perfect, and as I'm eyeing and now taking a look and seeing as Rose Run Why Not moves out of that non-winners 2 level, is there a place there for So and Sue? There's a place anywhere right now for So and Sue with the money she has made, where we can race her. We can race her wherever we want. But what is the best place? First and foremost, get her squared away. So the timeline is not great for me to get back on time. I can only go so fast, and I can't just go as fast as I want. The Turnpike is full of troopers all the time. Very nice people, but they absolutely love to write you tickets. So I have to be very careful when driving down the Turnpike, especially. So it's a 2-hour drive, and I have exactly 2 hours to get there. Now, if the race goes off a little bit, imagine I have to get off the track, get my stuff, get in the car, and go. So it's not like I can just drive the horse 2 hours down the road. I have to get in my car and go. So it's there is a time lapse there. So I'm going to do the best I can, but we'll see. The changes we made on the shoeing in regards to My Jazz, I believe, you guys saw those brakes and thought they were, tricky soreness brakes, and but they weren't. I think a lot of it was attributed to the shoeing we put on her. We changed her around quite a bit. And I don't like when I see drivers coming out to get their rain gear. It's not raining. It doesn't even look that cloudy. Not happy about that. So we'll do our best in getting back to My Jazz. For now, this video is here to talk about what's coming up. We talked about, we had a great sale in Lexington, got some really good horses. We do have some shares left over, and I suspect they'll be cleaned up soon enough. These are quality horses. Ohio again, only 1 or 2. I want to get that pacer cleaned up, and Magical Tom, the clock is ticking out. Tommy's coming home with Daddy tonight. I'm bringing him back to Ontario with Sipping on My Shine and High Enterprise tonight, right after Tanzanite Tricks race. And then in Ontario, you know what, you guys have done a good job cleaning up the shares. I'm not surprised. Warwee Yuri got cleaned up after his brother Warwee Roo went in 51 at the Meadowlands on Saturday. So horses like him, Gandalf the Black is getting cleaned up. The fillies sold out, the pacing filly. We still have Connie, the muscle mask colt that we got, but those shares are moving. They're moving. It's nice for me to say I want them all gone now. It doesn't work that way. It's moving, and I appreciate the fact that everybody is helping out with that. I appreciate your participation in the buckets, the partnerships, and in that tone, I'm going to start talking about what's going on in Harrisburg. Now, I'll be honest. I looked at the entire Harrisburg catalog. I found 48 or 50 horses I thought were interesting. Now, again, I get to look at our inventory first. What do we need? What do we may not need? Plus, I was so surprised. I keep getting emails from people saying, Anthony, are you putting together that same type of premium partnership for Harrisburg? So I said the other day, you guys are hungry, eh? Yeah, I mean, I can. And as I look through it, sure, it's obvious 3 Point Blue Chip Sister's there, but she's going to go for a ton of money. I didn't put her on my short list because there has to be some realism to what we're doing. I focused on 5 horses today that I thought could fit that mold. That mold of, these horses are very good horses. They're going to go for really good money. They're going to go for really good money. And is that what is that money? What is the really good money? Is that 70? Is that 130? I don't know. And we won't know until we get to the sale. And as I look at it, the last horse on my list is the last horse on my list is the one that I kind of want. I kind of want the most. So that's always the way. I didn't notice it till now. It's always the way. So if you guys want to know who those 5 horses were, and I'll tell you, but at the same time, what I'm looking for is a real painting of who's involved. It's wonderful if 12 people message me and say, hey, are you putting that premium package together? I want to get involved. Here's 1%. That's great, but the reality of that is that's 12% of the horse purchased, right? Now, I've told everybody it'll be likely 120 to 150,000 again. That's a very round number. I mean, we happily bought Una Madonna for 100, and I would have been happy just to refund people the other 50,000. But at the same time, we had Alarm Detector Sister who was on my expensive list right up until the last couple of days. I just thought that, you know, what we were looking for, if we were going to buy a top end horse, was she one of the ones? And some of them had to go, and she was one of the very last ones. But to buy her for 45, I thought was a slam dunk. And I don't want to keep talking about Lexington. It's done. I think we did a great job in Ohio, in both sales in Ontario, and most definitely in Lexington. But we're on to Harrisburg now, and the horses I want to talk about are today. I don't want to talk about any horses today. I can tell you I counted 48. 48. Now, just to put that in perspective, when we went to Lexington, there was upwards of 200 horses I looked at. Now, this list is wonderful to look at on a tablet or a piece of paper, but you know, we have to go to the sale, have to look at the horse. There's going to be lots of these horses I don't like, and there's going to be other horses I do find that I do like. That's my job when I get to the sale. So a lot of this will be fluid until we get to Harrisburg, but I do want to get a clear idea of exactly who is interested. If you're out there, now, I will start all this, as I always do, with a disclaimer. When you're buying an expensive horse, the only thing that is different from the horse you just bought that was much less expensive is what you pay for it. Nothing more. You don't know, yes, the pedigree might be great, the conformation might be great, but at the end of the day, they're all numbers when they come in the stable.ca. When they come in those doors, they get the harness on for the first time, and they go out in the track, it doesn't matter what we paid for them. It doesn't matter where they came from, what color they are, none of that matters. They're all numbers 1 through whatever. And we train them down the same. Now, as we go along, we change the way they're trained, we change the way we approach their training, and that, again, doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the amount of money paid for them or anything else. It has to do with that particular case on a case-by-case basis. So when you're buying these horses, just because we buy a horse like 3 Point Blue Chip does not mean he's going to turn out even like 3 Point Blue Chip. And again, he hasn't made very much money. As far as you're talking about monetary returns, which the stable is not about, you have to understand that when you buy into these expensive horses, they just cost a lot, right? And it's nice. Yes, you can say, well, Anthony, you know, if you want to have the best, you got to be the best. That's a wonderful little cliche, but it is absolutely not accurate in horse racing. You know, Some Beach Somewhere, I believe, was a $30,000 yearling. Mr. Muscleman was a $4,000 yearling, if I'm not mistaken. He's Watching was around 6. And Glidemaster was 10 or less. So you can buy good horses for anything, but when it comes to these types of horses and these types of pedigree, yeah, it does, in theory at least, looking at the page and the horse, it does. I'm so hesitant to say it gives you a head start, because it doesn't, but at least it makes you feel like you have a head start. So I always want to tell people, please, please, please don't get involved with the stable with money that is not discretionary, money that is not money that you can earmark for horse racing. If it's earmarked for your kids' college education or your retirement fund, just keep it in your bank. You know, if you have some extra money floating around and you want to get involved, we'll be happy. You know, if you have money for a vacation, we'll be happy to take that too, because you'll never have more fun than you will at the stable.ca. But when it comes to investing your dollars, leave that to an investment professional, certainly not us. So with that out of the way and being said, as it always is, I want to make sure that we talk about Harrisburg and what's going on. We are going to have a premium horse again, I believe. You know, I'm honored and humbled that our clients believe and trust in us enough to, you know, buy a horse of that caliber, train it down, and race it. It's just a real feather in our cap, and quite frankly, a very good feeling to have as the guy behind the stable to know that our clients have enough trust in us to do that. So thank you very much for that. I say it all the time, but I truly mean it. I appreciate everything you guys do, and especially turning the stable into definitely what it is in 2021 heading into 2022. So with that said, we are going to have a premium package, a premium horse, which will be likely, I'll again earmark that horse between $120,000 and $150,000. on my list of those on my list for potential horses for that list right now are only five in the entire Harrisburg catalog. Now that'll change when we look at a couple of other horses. When I'm looking at this, I'm still looking at the list and saying, okay, who can't we afford? Who just to put it in perspective, when you're starting to look at horses, I'm just going back to the start here. 0-1. First one in the ring's a Sweet Lou, no. Second one, a Muscle Hill, very good family. Again, second horse in sale, Muscle. That's a horse that potentially could fit. It's not on my list. Again, Muscle Mass in the second dam. That's a Graceful Touch family. The mare, That's Not My Name, had 5 foals, 4 winners, 50-cent piece, 367, a full brother on there. Again, you're assuming a horse that came actually could have been on my list, I suppose. It wasn't. Not to say it won't be when we get to Harrisburg, but wasn't. Captain Treacherous. Now you get into the Walners, right? Hill Street's brother, the Glide Masters in the second dam. These horses are going to go for a ton of money. And for me to put a horse like that on my list would be unrealistic. The horses on my list, aside from number 2, I just told you, the horses on my list are horses I believe we can acquire, maybe even for a little bit less than that. I'm not going there to spend $150,000. I know that's how it seemed in Lexington. It just seemed like a much better deal for the people that were okay to buy Una Madonna for $150, to get her for $100, and then Alarm Detector's sister in Horn Player for $45. It just seemed like a slam dunk to me. Could the same thing happen? I suppose, but you're talking about a perfect storm, a very perfect storm. So we do have a list. I do have a list of 5 right now that would fit into potentially that premium package type situation, a premium horse type situation. Now, when it comes to the other horses, so we have the other 2 partnerships I want to put together, which are 150 and 50. That makes it easy for everybody that wants to get involved. But again, that will depend on you. I really don't know. Heading into Harrisburg, I don't know how my clients feel. I don't know if they have more money to spend, if they want to spend it. I certainly don't want to ask them to spend it. So I'm relying on you when it comes to Harrisburg. What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? And I'll be happy to tell you some of the horses on our list. I can tell you right now horses I think could be on all the lists easily. But when it comes to our clients and what they want to do, it'll be up to you, not me. So this video is the first one of a couple of asks moving into Harrisburg in 10 days' time. What do you want to do? What do you want Harrisburg to look like? What do you want to be a part of in Harrisburg? Do you want to be a part of Harrisburg? I guess that's the first and most important question. Do you want to participate in Harrisburg? If so, in what capacity? 2 questions, pretty simple. So, a long video again, 13-minute video when 2 simple questions were needed. Do you want to participate, and in what capacity? So that's what this video is all about. I'm going to go get ready to drive our girl this afternoon at the Meadows. I'm a Lovely Lady, and then off to Northfield. I don't know in what capacity I'm going to get there. I might miss everything. I might just miss my Jazz's qualifier. I might not miss anything. We'll see. But that will be up to the road, the cops, and the timing of the qualifiers and the race here. So I'll talk to all you guys soon. Good luck to the I'm a Lovely Lady crew today and the Tanzanite Tricks crew. I will be heading home with 3 Ohio breds tonight, right after the race. I'll be home at 11 o'clock. Take care.